Hello and welcome to the Dream Interpretation Podcast. I'm Michael Sheridan. On this show, through analysing your dreams, I reveal your potential and the obstacles you need to overcome. I'm very specific. I tell you what your superpowers are, what makes you magnificent, and the bumps in life that are holding you back. But these bumps are not in the way, they are the way. We have a lot going on. Rather than winding down already, we have promotions. We've Black Friday specials. We've already launched one on our list, which is the 2-for-1 readings for $47, which is amazing. So 2 readings, 2 25-minute readings spaced by whatever amount of weeks you want from any of the Ashland graduates. And it's really designed to help you clear the issues that cause you problems in your life. Like, are you in a place you want to be? And what made us think of this is like at Thanksgiving, a lot of people travel home or travel to places they don't really want to go to, but it's tradition, it's whatever, and they end up in a place they don't want to be. And a lot of us are that way in our lives. We're in a place we don't want to be. So we said, okay, what can we do that will help people get from where they are, from the place they are to a place they do want to be? And because a lot of us, we only know where we don't want to be. Our focus is on where we don't want to be. We know that much, but we don't know what we should be focusing on. So if that's you, then this Black Friday special is for you. It's designed to help you understand where you should be focusing. Could you imagine if you had been focusing and putting the energy into what you're meant to be doing for the last year or the last 5 years or 10 years even? It's crazy to think about where your life would be today instead of it being in the same place as last year or the year before or the year before. Anyway, that's $47, 2 readings, which is just insane. And of course, it's good to do it at times like this because there's volume. There's a lot of people going to book, and that's how we can do it. So it's just possible because there's volume, and there's like 12 graduates involved in it as well. So there's lots of choices there. Really cool. We also have a lot of free stuff. We have 3 free webinars, and that's all hot on the heels of us doing that long weekend of free stuff, which was just fantastic. So we've 2 in English, one on November 30th, one on December 1st, and one in Spanish. And people are already booking on those. And I'm delighted that we have now started finally the Spanish version of our offerings, including our free webinars and so on. And first one of them is, I think, December 7th at 7 p.m. That's Chile time. They're run by Maria. She's going to be the host for anybody who is interested in the Spanish version of what we do. And she lives in Santiago in Chile, and she's actually been involved in the translation of my dream book into Spanish, and she translated the dictionary into Spanish and many other things. So she's been working with me for 3 or 4 years at this stage, getting all this done. So it's the culmination of a lot of work. So we're really excited that this time is coming. So if you're interested in any of those, go to my website, dream-analysis.com. You'll see links to those. If you're already on my list, then go to your email. I've sent out an email this morning saying, hey, if you want things in Spanish, you can finally do it. So, if you want to get that, check your email. If you don't find it, check your promotions folder if you're on Gmail, or your spam. Hopefully it's not going there. But so very exciting times for us. What else have we got? Well, let's look at some dreams. That's what this show is about. Let's have a look at some dreams. This first one comes from, let's see, what name did he want to use? Lee. It's not his real name. He said, I'm going for my COVID booster shot. I take off my top and only have my shirt left on. The nurse starts cutting the shirt up my left arm with a pair of scissors so she can expose my upper arm. As she injects me, I feel a sharp sting. I visualize white light in the vaccine to remove any less helpful substances or energy. I love it. She keeps the needle in for what seems like ages, so I ask her to remove it. They don't give me a card, so I don't know what I've been injected with. As I'm walking out of the clinic, the nurse accuses me and my family of having an incident or upset on average every 3 hours. I'm appalled, as she's saying that my family are troublemakers. She tells me that she's never felt someone with such a low vibration before. That's not good. I call to her as I leave, saying that I send her love and light. Then he says, on the way home, I'm on a bus, seated amongst many other people. My friend or brother, so interesting, he says brother, says he was injected, I'm going to try pronounce this, hydroxychloroquine and another substance at a clinic without him being told. I'm shocked, and I tell him my story in the clinic. We all agree that it is unacceptable. An old soldier in uniform starts telling us his experience of smuggling a microfilm in secret to a judge in order to alter the course of justice. I feel very strongly that all of these things are not right. And he calls the dream COVID booster shot. It's very topical, isn't it, for the time? Very polarized views about this around the world. I mean, look at what's happening in Austria, for instance. He says in his comments, this is a strange dream that felt different from the usual. It was very vivid and logical, and I'm wondering if it can be interpreted symbolically. Well, we're going to talk about that. So we're going to, what you really do in these is you look at the theme. You don't look at the individual things because this is very close to what was going on. He continues, he said, I am indeed a little concerned about going for a booster shot. I have had 2 doses so far, as I'm wondering when it will all end. Will we have to have booster shots every year? I did have a heated argument with my partner just before bedtime. All is well now, he says in brackets, so that's good. So that might be part of the dream. The sharp sting and the low vibration, he says. Anyway, it's probably not suitable for your show, but please feel free to use it. Thanks for all your inspiring work. Well, here we are using it. So going through the dream again, you're getting the shot and the nurse cuts your shirt to expose your upper arm. So when something like that happens in a dream, like your sleeve is, your sleeve is taken off. It's about hiding nothing and asking you to hide nothing, have nothing up your sleeves. If you have no sleeves, you can have nothing up your sleeves. So it's about being yourself. And then she injects you and keeps the injection in for what seems like ages, and you don't know what you're injected with. And then she accuses you and your family. So remember, family is the important one here, of having an incident every 3 hours. So now what you do is you look at this nurse as being mom, and mom accusing you of being upset all the time. And it's going to be childhood. We look at 3 is when it comes up in the dream. So it's going to be childhood and around age 3. And you accused of being upset. So the dream says you need to work on issues around mom. We don't look at the COVID thing because like that's part of the backdrop. That's going on in your life. You had the argument about that the day before and so on. But what we do look at is the abuse of those by those in authority. And we know it's abuse because an injection is a perfect symbol for abuse. Abusers, drug abusers use injections, for instance. So you're being injected with it, but you don't know what it is. So it's like, I don't trust people in authority. And that's ultimately what it comes down to. That's what this dream is about. That feeling of, I'm being subjected to this and I have no control over it. And so it says you got that from your mom, that feeling that you're going through life, which you should be able to identify. You're going through life with today comes from a very young age when mom would accuse you of being a way that you weren't. Accusing you in a sense of being low vibration or causing an incident, always causing trouble, etc., etc., etc. You fill in the blanks. You know the way mom was. And that's ultimately what this dream is about, saying you need to do that. Now look at the last, by do that I mean cut the ties with mom. So now look at the last bit. On the way home, I'm on a bus, seated amongst many other people. My friend or brother, you say he was injected too. So your brother was subjected to the same treatment. And what do you decide to do? You're talking to each other saying, this is completely unfair, and we're going to tell a judge because justice is not being served. I mean, this soldier comes in and he's getting things, smuggling them in secret to a judge. So this is really what it's about. You being subjected to what you considered was unfair, abuse of authority by mom as a child. Your brother backs it up for you in the dream, and then you're going to a judge to say, hey, could you please do something about this? It's not about COVID at all, of course. And of course, you knew that. COVID is just used as the thing today, because we are being told, here's what you need to do, here's what you need to do. And even if it's right, we still have no control over that. Like where we are here in America and other parts of Europe, lots of places, lots of states are saying, here's what you must do. And it's not a choice. And so we have a lot of people giving a backlash about the fact that it is choices being taken away. And that's what you're using in the dream, because it mirrors the way it was for you with mom in childhood. So there you go, Lee. Hope that makes sense of your dream and how topical it is. So let's have a look at another one. This one is from Hannah. What would taking an airplane to China be about? Well, she says, I woke up from this dream a little distressed and had trouble getting back to sleep, despite it not being overtly bad. I don't have a digital clock with red numbers in my bedroom, so I don't believe the detail or the numbers were something I incorporated from my environment. And that's a thing that happens at the end of her dream. But I did watch a movie earlier in the day in which two characters boarded a plane to China. So that's where that may have come from. Okay. So what was that about? What was that movie about, and how did the people feel about boarding a plane to China? Now, if you had Chinese heritage or anything like that, and you didn't say you did, so I'm assuming you don't, and I don't get a sense that you do, then that would change all of this. But for most people in the West who have no connection to China, a place I'd love to visit, but I know people who have been there, lived there, and I know it's not the rosy. It's a difficult place to live, even as a foreigner. But it's a difficult place to live for people in China too. But for us in the West, we have no frame of reference for it. The writing is different. There's no way. For instance, I always think of a friend of mine. He was going to Sydney, and his plane stopped in Tokyo, and he had a choice of. They stayed overnight, and he took the train into town. And when they were coming back, and this is many years ago, himself and his three friends were puzzled and struggling for ages to find their way back to their hotel on the amazing train system that they have, or underground system, whatever it is they have there. I think it's overground, but because they couldn't read the writing, and they were holding up these glyphs against signs to see, does this look like it? Does this look like it? And now I believe you've got English and Japanese writing in it, but they just were in trouble because of the kanji style characters. Anyway, that's exactly what China can represent for us. Not just the writing, but the culture is so vastly different. It's wildly different, and it's the differences. So for people dreaming about going to China, it can often be about, because China's huge, about expanding yourself and getting in contact with your guides, and so on and so on. So China can represent that, and it can be very positive in a dream. But I think in this dream, it's going to be more specific. It's going to be about what you think about China, rather than being about guides. So anyway, you say, here's at the dream. I was at the start. I was at the airport with my mother, waiting to board a flight to China. But I boarded the plane alone. I did not see her again after that. Okay, so this is straight away issues with mom. She wasn't there for you at the start of life. Now, boarding a plane and going somewhere is always positive. It's about improving yourself in some new way. So ultimately, the dream is a positive thing, showing you something positive. The airplane was made up of several corridors with turns, and at the end of the first corridor was a giant empty seat. It looked like it would offer a lot of room, but I intuited that there was a reason no one wanted to sit there. So always in dreams, when I see like stairs going everywhere, or corridors going everywhere, or turns and sort of thing, like not a long straight corridor, it's very characteristic of the intestines. Like think about the small intestines. They just go all over the place in your body, packed in there. And then the large intestine, because it's too big to be straight, it has 3 segments and so on. And so when I see this sort of thing, I expect it to show something to else in the dream to be about the digestive system. And indeed, we're going to see it. But corridors are also about transition and making a change, and a change for the better. So it's going to be both. So at the end of the first corridor, anyway, is this giant empty seat, and you don't sit in it. We're going to come back to that. You said it looked like it would offer a lot of room, but I intuited it that there was a reason no one wanted to sit there. So you don't want to be on your own, and you want to be with other people. You don't want to do things that other people don't want to do. Despite not having a ticket, I knew my assigned seat was on the aisle of row 9. So this is 9 is good. 9 is about this being your last necessary earth life. So it's a good thing. If you're frustrated in life today, this dream says if you get into what you came here to do, you don't have to come back. This is like, no matter how many lifetimes you've had before this, this is the one where you can complete the whole purpose of all these journeys. You say, when I located the row, there was already 3 girls there, and 3 comes up later on. The one sitting in my seat had her body half inside the upholstery in the seat, but got up quickly to move when I let her know that was my seat. The 2 other made nasty remarks to me about wanting to sit with their friend. I told them I'd be happy to trade with her as long as she also had an aisle seat, because I didn't want to sit in the middle or a window seat. Okay, so you want to sit beside people. You don't want to sit at this other seat, but you're sitting with people who you've kind of had a run-in with here. So this tells us something about how you are in life, and this is what you need to overcome. That even when you haven't had a run-in with people, you're probably sitting in this kind of awkward space or feeling within you of like, this isn't comfortable. I'm not comfortable here. And so you're feeling kind of ostracized or alone, because we see that in the dream at the start of the dream, even when other people are around. So I don't think you actually have these run-ins with people, but the dream does it to bring up this feeling of awkwardness. The girl that was sitting in the seat already, and she's half inside the upholstery, this is about like trying to blend in. You would like to blend in. So you don't want people to know how you really feel. Even though you're sitting there, you're not giving off anything to let anybody know how you really feel. You're trying to blend in, look like you're meant to be there. Basically, that's a good way of putting it. Also, you didn't have a ticket, but you did know where you were meant to sit. So that was kind of good, but you didn't have a ticket. So it's like this sense of, oh, here's where I'm meant to be. I can't really prove it. That doesn't come up in the dream, but it's still interesting that you don't have the ticket. Because that's about entitlement, as a sense of like, I feel like this is where I need to be, this is where I should be, and I'm entitled to be, and I'm going to defend my position. So, okay, you say the other 2 made nasty remarks. We got that. You told them you'd be happy to trade, but you wanted to sit on the aisle. So the aisle is interesting. Why is it you wanted to sit in the aisle? And normally I would talk about channeling, and I think indeed you do have a channeling ability. But I think it's more significant. So what is it about you and aisle seats? Is that where you do want to sit in an airplane? And why do you want to sit there? Do you not want to be trapped on the inside, etc., etc.? It's going to be about that for you, the feeling of that. You say they sort of shrugged and the matter was dropped. I didn't end up sitting down after all, but instead went to find a restroom. So that's what you need to do straight away, is eliminate this negative feeling that was picked up around age 3, because we have 3 girls here, birth to age 3. So it's young stuff that happened to you when you were very young. That's what you got to work on. I walked through the length of the plane, which had several turns. And of course, planes don't have turns, right? I entered the first class cabin, which had dark red seats and a couple of dining areas. Okay, so remember I said it's going to be, we expect to see the digestive system show up in this dream. So it is about 2 things. There's 2 themes in this dream. This sense of belonging, the sense of being on your own and feeling on your own, feeling awkward even among other people. There's that. And that is, in fact, given by the dark red seats as well. We had, I think we did a dream on the show recently where somebody had red carpets. They talked about having red carpets in the basement, like Hollywood red carpets. But it was more about feeling that they weren't entitled to be on them. They were for somebody else, that kind of thing. And this first plane part is for somebody else. So this kind of fits that mold, let's say. But then we go to the dining areas. So we see food and digestion because of the dining areas with hibachi style cooktops that blocked my passage. So I said it's about the intestines. Here we see your passage being blocked. And you say you had to climb over the two of the cooktops to keep going. So this is something you need to overcome. You need to look at what you eat, how you eat, and if there is anything that is connected to hibachi style cooktops, then that's a food you need to drop or at least cut down enormously, because that's causing you digestive system problems. And you're climbing over two, so we have the aisles and the two, so definitely you're a channel. Eventually, I made it to the end of the plane where I thought the restrooms were located. So imagine now, the whole dream is you describing food on its way through your body. Ultimately, that's what you're describing, You're going on that journey yourself for your dream to show you what's up. And so the end of it is getting to the restroom, which is where we expel the food from our body. Instead, it ended with my ascending a staircase back into the airport, like one would come out of a train into the station. So this brings us back to birth. But again, I like the ascension part, the moving up. And that's what this dream is about. It's about you moving up, just like an airplane taking off is going to be about you moving up, and you're on the plane for that. So something good is coming. It's saying change your food, change your diet, and we see the rest now with the numbers that are going to come up in a minute. You say, I did not find the restroom. Instead, there was a large dumpster. So not surprising, because we know it's about the digestive and elimination system here. And that's what you need to fix. You need to fix the food you're not eating well and the things that you're holding onto that come from childhood that make you have this kind of awkward feeling and feeling alone. So working on issues around mom. When I turned back to return to the plane, I saw the staircase I'd just come from and noticed what looked like a digital clock on it with big red numbers, 126, I believe. So clocks are also about the heart issues here are not about physical heart issues. It's about feminine energy being impacted by mom, which that's what we were talking about so far. And 126 is about being on a path of forgiveness. 2 is, it means many things. It means channeling, which I know you are, but that's not where we're going to focus in the stream. It's about forgiveness and letting go. It's the first feminine energy number. And forgiveness is something that is very underrated in the Western world. And we think we know what forgiveness entails, but it really is about accepting somebody as they are and forgiving them in order to let go. It's all about you. It's not about your impact of forgiveness on them. It's about your impact of forgiveness on yourself. And this dream promises that if you do that, work on the issues around mom and work on this forgiveness, very strong feminine energy feeling, you will get onto the dharmic path, which is what 6 is about. And that's really, really cool. We don't see that too often. We don't see the promise of it too often, but you're told that's where you're going to get to. And we know that because of the airplane taking off at the start. First, I thought it was a countdown until the plane departed, but then I noticed the numbers were actually going up. I think the last number I saw was 2:30 before I woke up. Okay, so you're not sure, but 2:30 would be, again, about forgiveness and letting go, asking you to commit to that, which is what 3 is about. But 3 is the age you need to work on. So young age, you could even say 1 to 6. Like, our dreams are amazingly creative. They will incorporate the ages and they will incorporate the meaning of those numbers in dreams too, the other meanings. It's just amazing how well layered things work in a dream. But that's what you need to do. Cut the ties with mom and get into that very strong feminine energy state. So let's have a look at our last one. And this one is from Olivia. She says, this dream is very short. I'm on a rocky beach and the sun is shining down on me. So we know you're a hands-on healer straight away because of the sun shining down. And we often expect in dreams about hands-on healers, with hands-on healers, we expect to see hands featuring. They don't always, but they frequently do. The sun is shining down on you, so that's your gift. The sun gives life to this planet, injects that energy in. You've got it. It's midday. A middle-aged skinny man, it's male energy, with stringy, mousy brown hair and wrinkles, comes at me and is attacking me with a knife. I'm holding my hands up, but the only thing he is stabbing are my hands. Ta-da! He doesn't try to stab anywhere else. I'm not bleeding though. I know for some reason he is mad because I offended the artwork he made. I didn't like his artwork, and that is the only reason he is stabbing me. Okay, so Olivia, you call this knife attack to hands on a rocky beach. So you need to do what it takes in order to balance the masculine energy within you, work on the issues around dad, most likely because of this man attacking you, and the knife is all about anger and so on, because that has caused an imbalance of masculine energy. And when you start doing hands-on healing, that's a masculine energy as well. It's going to help restore that balance and fix this for you. So it's really good to see it in the dream, but we know then what you got to work on. And I always say at the start of the show, the obstacle is the way. Well, this is your obstacle, working on the stuff around dad, working on the anger. And even with your hands up, you're still being offended. And it's a clash of ideals. You didn't like his artwork. Artwork is about ideals. So you had a clash of ideals with dad. And this has caused you the imbalance and the problem. So work on that. All right. So that's my show for this week. Do go to dream-analysis.com if you want to download my free dictionary. There is going to be the Spanish one. Anybody who's on the Spanish list is going to get the Spanish dictionary for free. And that's going to be in the next few days. And then there are 3 webinars coming up. You can get the details on my website right now. And you can also book one of these amazing priced 2-for-1 readings in order to get direction in your life. They're really good if you have questions. You know, if you know, here's what I don't know. So my question is, I don't know what I should be doing about this. That's the type of thing they can answer. So it's really good, really worth it for you for such, it's 70% off. It's an amazing. And then you're getting a second one for free. All right. Thank you everybody for listening. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you during the week. And I will see you on Monday. Take care.